Coach Simone Kelly here with another episode of the Own Your Power Lifestyle Show, brought to you by Own Your Power Communications. We're the company that is your guide to conscious living and personal growth. I'm so excited to have back a regular expert on the show, my home girl, my sister, who now lives. I met her in Florida, and now she lives in Atlanta. I'm so excited. Help me welcome back Neoshi Green.
You did good.
I don't want to jack your name up. I've been messing everybody's name up. So welcome back. We're so excited to have you. Today we're going to be talking about a very juicy topic for the month of February, which is all about the past life and karmic connection. So I see that happen over and over again. As many people know, I'm also an intuitive life coach. I do readings and what have you. However, I'm a little different than what Neoshi does. I feel it for myself when I do the readings, but Neoshi takes you through the whole journey on your own. And it's fascinating. I have done it many years. I did it during COVID, and it was like 3 hours. It was intense. I learned a lot about myself. And I learned a lot about why I do certain things. So it's fascinating. So first and foremost, Neoshi, let me just tell people a little bit about you so they get the gist, okay, of how powerful you are. Because you're very humble. You're not going to tell us all this stuff. So she is an international clinical and transpersonal hypnotherapist known worldwide for spiritual hypnotherapy. Her clients include celebs in the music industry, professional athletes, and multi-millionaire CEOs. Neoshi has worked with over 1,000 women and a few brave men who are on the journey to heal their souls. She's conducted sessions in person and remotely for clients all over the world, including the US, Canada, India, Europe, the Caribbean, Australia, and Africa. So just letting you know, we got a heavy hitter here, baby. So welcome back, Neoshi. So tell us a little bit about just the basics of what you do so people kind of get a gist of how it works.
Sure. Thanks for having me, asking me to come back. I always have a good time when I come on, but appreciate it. So I am a clinical, like you said, clinical transpersonal hypnotherapist. A lot of people, my clients know me for, and my followers know me for spiritual hypnotherapy, largely for past life regression. So a lot of my clients think that that's all that I do, but when they get in a session with me, they usually realize, oh shit, we're doing a lot more than that. So my sessions consist of, or at least my signature session consists of shadow work, past life regression, and spirit guide assistance, as well as energy and spirit releasement. So we are doing a lot when it comes to what you might say healing or just evolving spiritually. There's a lot that goes into that. So we're dealing with not just issues that you have from past lives, but we're also dealing with issues that you might be experiencing or have experienced in this present life, whether it be inner child healing, like I said, anything dealing with shadow work, things that you struggle with. We deal with that to help find the root cause of the issue. And in doing so, we'll help to resolve whatever the issue might have been so that you can move forward in a different way. But yeah, there's a lot that goes down. I guess we'll kind of get into that a little bit more.
Yeah. So, and normally when people, because I don't think I've ever asked you this, after they get a past life regression, let's say that's one of your most popular services, do they, and you have a lot of other layers to it, do they get a follow-up? Do you do any kind of counseling or one-on-one, like smaller sessions, or no?
So the counseling is all done within the session.
Okay.
Remember that my signature session is the most popular session. That's where I do everything. We do shadow work, past lives, spirit guide assistant, and then spirit releasement. And it's a 3-hour session. So we are doing everything in there. Now we don't fix your whole life in one session because I have clients come back for multiple times and they'll do the same session again, like every other month. And then but some clients will come back and they'll just do one part of the session, like the shadow work only or the past life.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, if you could break it down in pieces. Okay, so just overall, reincarnation, past lives, it's a very hot topic. And nowadays, most people are getting more open-minded about it, I would say. What do you think? I mean,
yeah.
All the stuff that we do that people thought was weird and woo-woo, now everybody's starting to get down with it and starting to realize, okay, there's a little bit more to this little life that we have, right? one of the things I always got to share this video. I have to find it because I talk about it every time we talk. Is this video that really blew my mind was the video of this little boy that was he was like 6 years old, but he was talking about his wife, his family. He was naming people's names in India, and knew who shot him. And you know, it was a whole long story. Like in his past life, he knew someone who murdered him, and he had not a tattoo. He had a birthmark in the spot where the man was shot. So it was like crazy, and to the point that the wife of the dead man was like, "That's my husband." It was that deep. So I definitely want to find that link. I'm gonna share it in the show notes because you guys need to watch this. It's phenomenal. But there's a lot of other religions that believe in incarnation, reincarnation. Hinduism is the most popular one. Buddhism, Sikhism, Kabbalah, Judaism, and also Jainism. I never even heard of what that is, but they said that they're like Hinduism, except the soul chooses its next iteration in death. I mean, I thought most past lives that was the concept that we choose, right?
Right. Right.
That's based on the stuff that I've experienced. But yeah, as far as Christianity, I'm curious, have you heard of any of your clients that are Christian? Do they believe in this? And I mean, I know Nikki, our associate producer, she found some parts of the Bible where they talk about it. But I'm just curious, what do you think? What have you heard?
I've heard Christians, even those who are like skeptical about my work and who don't believe in it, think it's demonic.
Right.
I heard some of them say, "Oh, well, yeah, reincarnation's in the Bible," but you know, those type of things. But yeah, I do have a lot of clients who consider themselves to be Christians. A lot of them are like Christian spirituals. My mom is one of those people.
Oh, really?
She was very much it's a little different though, for everybody, at least different for everybody, because some people do it to different degrees. They have different beliefs and things of that nature. But I've had situations with, let me tell you this real quick story. There's this guy, when I was up in Fort Lauderdale, and we were at the school that my children were going to. His children were there too. We were having some type of meeting. I forget what it was, a meeting like a parent student, one of those type of things, whatever. And the parents were there kind of going around introducing themselves. And in doing that, they were asking, like, you know, introduce yourselves, what work do you do, yada, yada, yada. So, you know, I'm just like, oh Lord, I don't really, I'm just that type of person. I don't like,
I'm a
I
therapist.
don't, yeah, I don't like to mix that in with like when I'm mommy time on my mommy time. I don't like to go into like, oh, this is what I do, because then I get stares of people looking at me like, it's either one thing. It's either they're gonna be intrigued and want to know more, or
But
they're
it's
gonna
gonna
be
be
looking at
like,
me like, yeah, right. And when I'm on mommy mode, I'm kind of like, I don't want to do none of that right now.
right,
Okay.
right.
So yeah, anyway, we did that, and I was reluctant to mention, you know, going to death. I was just like, yeah, I do hypnotherapy. And my husband was like, nah, tell them everything else you do. Like, tell them what you be doing with the. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, why you got me doing this right now? And so I mentioned briefly about, you know, past life regression, spirit assistance, stuff like that.
You made a killing
One
in there.
parent,
I know you
right?
made a killing.
No, listen. One parent. Okay, let's fast forward. That was that day. Fast forward. I'm in a session, or I think someone gave him my number or something that we knew, maybe a mutual friend, and he texts like, "Hey, I need to get a session from you. How do I book?" He books. I'm fast forward to the day we're in a session. He's like, yeah, I don't know if you remember me. But you know, we was at this meeting. He tells me around the end of the day. He's like, yeah, and I remember you standing up and you telling us what you did. And I was like, he was one of those, like, what the
Yeah,
hell? You know what I
yeah.
mean? And he's like, he's like, but you know, that I was in a different space then, you know, I've grown so much. And this is like maybe a year later.
Mhm.
And he's like, I've grown so much more, you know, and come to learn, have certain revelations, excuse me, revelation. What's
Revelation.
wrong
I
with
got
me
you. I
today?
got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Revelations about, you know, spirituality and his, you know, upbringing, and starting to realize certain things that he was told was, you know, wasn't what it really was. And he's like, so, you know, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, he's like, I find it funny that, you know, I'm just really amazed about how far I've come from my beliefs from what I was before, because literally when you said that, when you stood up and you was introducing yourself, I was looking at you like you're crazy. Like,
yeah, she's a witch. Run.
right. But now here we are a year later, he's in a session with me. And when I tell you his session was bomb, like not only was he able to open up, and usually with men, sometimes, they're talking, you have to be hard. You can't let them see you break. Don't let them see you cry.
Yeah.
Right. That's a weakness. You ain't no man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he really opened up. I mean, there was a lot of boo-hoo crying. There was a lot of release, a lot of healing. He really opened up and really shared a lot. So we did a lot of shadow work with him healing. I think his inner child. There's some issues with family. There was issues past life. Girl, we did so much, and when he was done, like he was literally like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." Like he was just like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad that I got led to you." So I say all of that to say, I let those, people who want to talk like, "Oh, that's demonic stuff." Like, okay, boo, that's what you believe. Go back, go ahead, go off.
Right.
I'm not here to convince you. You got your journey. I'm gonna let you have it, and I'm on my journey. I'm doing God's work. God's the way you want to call it.
Yes.
And that's what it's gonna be, and there's nothing you can do about that. So
that's one of the things that I love about you and people that do the work that we do, that we're owning our power. That, I mean, again, like I used to be hiding behind this too, like all the stuff that I do. But the more I came out and told people, it's like, wow, I didn't know you did that. Like, oh, so you'd be surprised how many eyes you open, and also letting people know that it's nothing spooky. It's something that we all have the gift, right? So let's talk about karmic relationships, right? So first and foremost, I love how, just in general, past lives, how there's a lot of signs that you've had one. And I want to kind of go into those, but karma in general, let me just ask you that. The definition of karma is the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence that are reviewed to decide the fate of future existences. And according to like how many, I guess, spiritual people think, that we make our own judgment after when we pass away, and how we want to come back, right? So you were like a real racist person, you might come back as the race that you were against or whatever. And the original philosophy of karma has its roots in India. And the word itself is Sanskrit, meaning actions or deeds. So a lot of times I think people automatically assume karma's bad. You ever hear like people always like, oh, that's your karma, or that's my karma. But I think karma also has the positive side to it, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Most as I say it. So with that said, let's talk about karmic relationships, because this is what I want to really get into. Like, as far as like, why do we pick these same people? And relationships don't necessarily mean lovers. It could be child. It could be your mother, brother, whoever. Why do we keep coming back with this group of people? 9 times out of 10, it is like soul groups. So I want to go over some of the signs, and then you tell me what you think or what you've seen with some of your clients. 7 signs you might be in a karmic relationship. Number 1 is the instant connection. Karmic relationships are often categorized by immediate, intense connection. Oh my God! Oh, this cosmic energy. I have a friend that every minute she is a cosmic connection. But here's the thing: you can have an amazing connection with somebody, and it just feels very familiar. But that don't always mean that it's a good thing. It don't mean that it's good or that it's going to end good in this life. So tell me, have you seen that a lot with the whole instant connection? Is that a sign?
Yeah, like they're either in their own personal lives, and I've seen it in my life too as well. How the instant connection, but like you said, sometimes it's a different type of connection. It's not always like a romantic thing, and sometimes it's like I really feel cool, like Simone, like I feel like I know Simone in another life, like we had another life.
In class, writing notes.
Yes. So it's definitely something that you see that comes up, and people always want to know about, that. And that's the thing, that's like a really popular question that I get, especially when we get to the spirit guide part of my sessions. They want to know, like, who's in my soul group? Like, have I had a life with this person before? Is this my soulmate? Like they want to know because they feel a connection, and they're trying to figure out, why do I feel this connection with this person? Where they come from? Yeah.
I've had a couple of people, and like almost like really like mentors or like mommy figures, where I've met them at an event, and we didn't know each other from a whole long, and we both were like, I know you. He's like, I know you too. And like we just had this like connection. We to this day, shout out Rochelle Schwartz, my Jewish mom. That's how I joke. for many years. But when we met, I literally felt like I knew her, and she was like, I felt like she felt the same way. So it was like weird. So we must have been friends somewhere in the past life. And I've had other people where I'm like, oh, we'll get to that. The opposite of the happy connection.
Right.
So deja vu is another one, right? So where you're like, I feel like I've been here before. It feels like it happened before, or you just have this familiarity. The deja vu is still kind of tricky to me, because to me it feels like it happened, like the exact thing happened, but maybe not in that same lifetime. I don't know. What's your, do you know anything about deja vu?
Yeah, someone said something that really resonated with me. I forget who it was. It might have been Tabitha Brown, when she was like, deja vu is God showing you a plan that you've already agreed to, like something that you've already planned to design,
So
say, this is
thriller,
what's going to happen. Like you're remembering,
what the plan is gonna be.
remembering that this is what the plan was, and this is like a marker that lets you know you're on track or whatever, whatever, right? And so that resonated for me, because for years I was like, what is this whole deja vu thing? Something has to be to this. Like, what is going
Right.
on? She said that, I got goosebumps, and I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, that makes so much sense.
A part of
So
me also feels like some things were repeated in the past life, but just different, like, like a different setting. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like certain things that I do, I'm like, I know I've done this before. All right. So shared memories, having shared memories or dreams with another person to seem to be from a time before your current life. That I actually have a friend that we had a dream at the same time. We were in the same house, and it was weird, but I mean, I had an interesting connection, but some things didn't line up to me, honestly. But like, you have a connection, but there's always like something off, you know what I mean? And a part of me even thinks we might have been sisters in the past life. But I might have been even twin sisters. That's how close our energy was. But I have a feeling I'm glad I wasn't born a twin, because I don't like people looking like me, dressing like me, trying to be like me. And it was that kind of situation. Like, I don't want to be like you. I'll be myself. Like, that drives me, when I tell you, it drives me up the wall. Like, it happened to me so many times in high school and college, with people try to be like you. So I think that was the connection. But we definitely had a connection, like in the past life. You know what I mean? But some people you gotta like, not gonna work. Have you ever had that, like a shared memory with somebody or a shared dream? That kind of
no, I
sounds
can't say, I can't say that that's happened to me personally, or anyone I'm aware of, but I've heard about people saying like that stuff has happened to them. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of weird. Shared dream. Now reoccurring patterns or themes. If you notice reoccurring patterns or themes, or in your interactions with this person, such as repeating conflicts or similar challenges, that could be a sign of a karmic connection. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of this in like codependent relationships, right? And I think, when from my experience, and you can break it down a little bit more. I've seen people where in a past life they saved that person from death, or they saved them from something, and in this life they're like, oh, or the other person says, hey, I'm gonna save you this time, or something like that. It's always something where they're trying to help each other, but sometimes it's not healthy. It's not a healthy.
Right. Right.
Have you seen anything like that in any of your clients?
Um, so yeah, there's this thing where, well, people say it's okay, well, let me say this. Yeah, sometimes it might be a situation where it's like, okay, karmically, where we're repeating this lesson with the same person. But sometimes it can be with a different person, you're just repeating the same lesson because you didn't get it the first time around. And
That
so
part.
every time you don't get it, it repeats. And not only does it repeat, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Or should
Mm,
I say more extreme, more extreme, more extreme, until you get the lesson. And
right.
once you get the lesson and you show you learn it, then the cycle stops. But every time you keep making that same mistake over and over and over, and you don't get it, the next time around it's going to be more extreme. And it's like the universe is forcing you, spirit is forcing you to get the fucking message, excuse me, to get the message.
That's the
You
way.
know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of getting off track here, but I this is a good segue to one of my questions that one of our listeners had. Shout out to T in Margate, Florida. I'm not going to shout out your own government, but she wanted to know, why do we keep coming back, or what I got to do to not come back? And it kind of sounds like what you're saying, like, get it right, damn it. Now, but what do you think about that? Like, not coming back?
I think a lot of
He
people,
wants
okay,
to
let
be.
me tell you, here's a secret. Here's a secret to what you got to do to not come back to the earth anymore. I'm out of this place. See y'all, peace out. I don't want to be here. This is the secret, right? You got to turn around 3 times in a circle, clap your hands, stomp your feet, and say, "I'm not this." No, but
Be careful, you might end up on the worst planet.
right,
Careful what you wish for, right?
right. No, I'm joking, but seriously, I think a lot of people are forgetting that we are spiritual beings to begin with. And so before we even came to this planet, this plane, right, we've already decided what we want to accomplish when we're here, what challenges we want to face, what's going to happen, what this life is going to look like, who I'm going to, have these experiences with, what they're going to teach me, what I'm going to teach them, how we're going to serve each other, how we're going to help each other, right? And so a lot of people, when they ask that question, they're coming from a place of like,
they don't deal with it. They don't want to deal with it, but like, you picked this life.
Like the dread, like, oh, this like life is life and I don't want to do it no more. Versus understanding that you're here for a purpose. There's a lesson, there's something you're here to do. And when you don't do it, that's why I say things get extreme. And it gets more extreme, and it gets more extreme because you're not getting the lesson.
Right.
Right. So you can't, there's no one thing that you do, there's no two things, no three. It's all based on your soul and the experience that it had. So if you leave this plane and you're like, I didn't get what I was supposed to get when I was here, I didn't do what I was supposed to do when I was here, the soul can decide, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it different this time. Or the soul can say, I think I'm going to take a rest for a little bit, go do something else, and then maybe come back to this lesson later.
Right.
It's like a school.
The choice, yeah. Well, this is my advice to you, Missy. You're listening. Work on yourself. At the end of the day, the more you're connected with your higher self, the better you'll hear the messages. The better you'll tap into your calling. The better you'll listen to your intuition, and you'll make better decisions so that you aren't frustrated with your life. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I want to get me the hell out of here. You know what I mean? And this is a friend of mine that is always like, she listens to a gazillion books, audio books, and self-help, self-help, but she never implements the stuff. So it's like, you listen to it, I call it like what do they call it, like a self-help junkie.
Yeah.
But it's
literally.
like, know everything, but you're not implementing it. So guess what?
What's the point? Yeah, like, yeah, knowing is not doing. Like, you got to do, like, application is necessary. Even when I tell my clients, like, after a session, like, we've done, we'll do the session and when they've talked to their guides and gave them answers to all the questions that they've been wondering about. They got their guidance, their clarity, they got everything. And I'm like, now, you know what you need to do now, right? You got your answers. So what's next? Application.
Thank you.
Knowing is not enough. You got work to do now.
Right. All right, let's get back to the list because we have a couple more things. So the last, well, there's a couple more. Unexplained attraction or aversion. So this is a good one. I'm not gonna blow nobody up really, but I have a type, right? So I've been in a situation where I was attracted to somebody, but their energy, not the way they looked, I was like, oh my God. And he was good, he was all right looking, but he wasn't my type. But I just really like, oh my God, but it was like a friend, like, oh my God, I just like him. Oh, he's so nice. So yeah, usually that happens. And I found out later he was my cousin and my little brother. I'm not gonna tell you who that is, but I probably told you in another show. If you follow the show, you'll know who I'm talking about. But yeah, it made sense why, but it wasn't supposed to be a romantic relationship, in other words. But yeah, it's like, oh, that's my family. That's why I felt like, right. But then the aversion one, I don't know why I always get this flashback of being on the train in New York and like seeing somebody look, and I just feel creeped out, like they killed me in 1912 or something. Right, just like get away from me, or you just feel it right away. I could be an intuition that's feeling he could have been a dark person, but I feel that that's happened to a lot of people where they're reconnecting with somebody that hurt them in a past life or something happened. And like, tell me, have you seen that happen where people are connected in this life, or had past lives with somebody where they see them again in this life?
Oh yeah, it could be a parent, a brother, sister, neighbor, cousin, friend, auntie, you name it. All day, yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, it gets heavy because it's crazy. Like, a lot of times they don't recognize that person in that life when we're going through that life until I'm like, I want you to connect with that person, and do you recognize the energy as someone else in your present life? And it's like,
yes, That happened to me in I just forgot I gotta listen to my recording again. I got chills because I remember I said, that's my mother. Like it was something that it was somebody in the past life that I realized was my mom, but she wasn't my
Yeah.
mom in that life. It was like she was, and I was like, whoa, this is mind-boggling. But a lot of it makes so much sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is really cool. I love it. All right, so now intense emotions again. This again to me goes back to the psycho relationships people be where they're like, I have to be with you, like that addiction or the you hear it all. And experience intense emotions, whether positive or negative, in the presence of someone you believe you've known in a past life. So I think that can be unhealthy in many when it gets too intense.
Sure.
Yeah, so that can be dangerous too. But that's why I'm just trying to make sure this is clear, because a lot of people think because there's a past life connection that you need to be with that person forever. No,
Right.
no. Telepathic communication. I like that one. That's a cool one, where you feel like you can communicate with the person on a deeper level without using verbal communication. Have you ever seen that or had that happen? Like maybe you and your husband?
Me and my husband definitely. I've
Yeah.
heard of other people too that said that they experienced that. So I was like, oh, okay. Oh, we're not tripping then. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, put aluminum foil over. Yeah. All right. So now with that said, can you share any examples of any like really good like maybe just one good lesson of a karmic relationship where somebody did something in the past life and in this life they're seeing the results of it, or they're seeing something like maybe a lesson that they had to learn? Can you think of anything?
Well, let's approach it from the stance of a lesson versus like, because when people, like you said, when you hear karma, they think of something negative,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
you
yeah. Yeah.
did
It could
this,
be a yeah.
this, so this is your punishment.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's always a lesson tied to it. So I'll give the first thing that comes to mind is a client where she went to a past life and can I say this? Okay, so she unalived some of her children.
Oh,
And
talked about this
yeah,
on the show.
yeah, and she, for whatever reason, long story short, she wants children in this life now. Um, but she's unable to have children due to fertility.
Ooh.
Um, so there was many layers with that. I'll say that there was a lot of layers and lessons that went along with that. But that was a heavy pill for her to hear her guide say that you're not gonna have children in this life, unfortunately, and this is why. Um,
He probably picked it though. Like,
yeah, and that's they told her that she chose it.
yeah, like our own punishment, quote unquote, maybe. I don't know.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
was like the soul chose this as
Sounds
the, I
like
was like,
that.
wow, we
Yeah.
could we could choose to punish ourselves in that way in this life. That was interesting. Like I had never heard that before. Like I know you do it for lessons, but so that's why I look at it from a point of like, okay, the soul wants to learn that lesson, but as a punishment for yourself, I've never heard that. So that's one thing that does come to mind, that yeah, that was the situation that she chose to have. But I always say, I look at it not like as a lesson, like this is your punishment, but like as a lesson of like, cherish the life that you're given, cherish those, you know, uh, the babies that you're given. Because what if you're in a position where you want it and you can't have it? Look at all the people who want it and they can't have it, and then you have it. Because I think in that life she had it, and another woman wanted it. It was a whole lot of drama, something with the husband and the mistress and one. I don't remember. I know it was something of
It's
that
like
nature.
soap operas. As I said, who needs cable?
Yeah, it was a whole lot. But yeah, it was a situation like that. And it was like, her soul needed to learn a certain lesson. And so it said, I'm going to, in this life, I'm gonna make it where my challenge is and I'll be infertile and I won't be able to have children, but I will want them, and I will, bleed and cry. My heart will bleed and cry out for these children that I can't have.
Oh my gosh!
But there
Wow.
was a lesson. There were other lessons, and the guide said that there were other things that went along with that, but they couldn't share with them at that time because there was other things that they needed to do first. Like there's other work we need you to focus on now, and in time we'll reveal that to you, the other aspect of that lesson and why you're having that. So yeah.
Now, my last question is about soul groups traveling together. Um, I think I learned about this concept from way back. What was the name of that book? I feel like I had it somewhere. God, what was the name of that book? gonna come back to me. It's right on my bookshelf. Here we go. The Celestine Prophecy. You ever read that?
I think, wasn't it a movie or something like that?
Yeah, but it's a book, but it's fiction, but it's based on like real spiritual stuff where they talk.
Okay.
It's really good. Oh, some
I
amazing.
haven't gone into it, but I've heard of it.
Read the
Yeah.
book. Read the book. It's a series of books, but oh, I just got chills. I might have to read them again. But yeah, it talks about soul groups, how we travel together, like how we might, whether it's friends, husband and wife. And it's funny to me because before I do readings on people, or they might have readings with somebody else, I might mistakenly call somebody their son, their brother. Like, oh, your brother. And if she's like, that's my son. I mean, yeah, your son. And then she's like, yeah, I did a reading and he was my brother in the past life. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense, or little things like I've noticed certain things like that. And I've had a situation where my girlfriend got a reading with one of my mentors before I started doing this as a job, and her son used to treat her like a lover. It sounds disgusting. He was only 5, but he like, he didn't know. He didn't know either. But he would like, she would be laying on the couch and he would pick her locks up and like kiss her on the back of her neck, like do the stuff that a 5-year-old does not do. And somebody did a reading and told her, oh, he was your lover. I was like, ooh. So it's just weird how these groups do travel together, but it's not always the same family roles. So have you seen situations like move around, going through different lives?
Yeah, definitely. And the one that comes to mind, because remember I was telling you the other day, me and you did it, you did a reading for me back in May.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to it a couple days ago, and you said in the reading that my husband was I was a mother figure for my husband in a previous life. Like he had some type of issue, a challenge, and he was bullied in that life. And I helped him. I kind of came and acted as a mother. I wasn't his actual, I was a mother figure for him. And so that resonated deeply because I was like, I really feel a lot of times like in this life, like I'm really protective over him, like a mother would be protective over. And it's not just because like, oh, that's my husband, yeah, but it's
Right,
like
right.
it's like
It's different. It's deeper.
it's deeper. Yeah. So you said I was like,
Wow. That's so cool. I don't remember. People tell me, don't you remember? I'm like, I don't remember nothing. I'm just the vessel. So
yeah,
I stopped trying to remember. Something stick out. Something like you have a million clients. You remember some things, but yeah, I tell people right now, just pay attention to how you live your life. Like my mother used to say, live good with people. Like just, because you never know this life, even in this life, you can come across somebody you burn bridges with. So it comes back some way, shape, or form. So karma is good and bad at the end of the day. So I just think we have to really honor our relationships and try to really, even if they don't work out, just look at what lesson did we learn more than anything.
right,
So this is
right.
school, as they say, or the prison planet.
It is. It is definitely school. And I think they call it the prison planet because it's like you are trapped in this space and you have to learn what you need to learn until you're able to kind of like move on to another lesson. And
Mhm.
so again, like I said, sometimes the soul will decide I'm going to learn this in a different way. I'm gonna go here to learn it. But yeah, definitely, definitely. There's no way out of that no way out of that. Once you're here, you gotta deal with the situation. It's gonna come to you. You gotta figure it out. So
Any last words of wisdom about karma or anything else you want to share related to intuition? I mean, not intuition, and reincarnation.
um
Pay attention to, or
no, I would just say, define things for yourself. Like a lot of people are so close-minded. They're very much uh, you know, if someone didn't tell them that this is what you have to believe, like this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. If it's not in this book, if it's not this, if this person didn't say it, if the news didn't say it, then it's not true. Like
right.
research things for yourself. Like and in that research, go with it and figure out what feels good to me. Like, does that resonate with me? Does that feel like that could be true? Because a lot of times people will come from a place of fear when they hear something that doesn't is
But they didn't
outside.
learning. Yeah, it's just like, what is
Right.
that? Weird.
Right. So they'll hear reincarnation, be like, this is devil's work, or this is this, and this is that. And oh, that's not possible. And it's like, where do you think you go? That spirit, that soul, that energy that lives inside this vessel that is not you, right? This meat suit. Where do you think that energy goes?
I like that meat suit. Yeah.
Oh, where do you think that energy goes?
I mean, the thing, a lot of people think that we just go in the dirt and that's it. Just disintegrate.
Like, yeah, so whether you come back here in this planet or you go somewhere else, you're still going somewhere else. You're deciding to do something else. That's soul or heaven, whatever you believe. You're still existing in another plane. That is just a simple form of what reincarnation is. It's like you're existing on different planes. It doesn't always mean just here on this planet. People have had lives. I had clients who had lives and went out and been the wind or the water or trees and
Wow.
other planets as aliens. And the most recent one was she was a spirit guide and she was in some little kids' rooms and she's overlooking and watching them at night when they're sleeping just before something happens. And she's like, yeah, I got to make sure that they stay together because something's about to happen right now and that could change their lives. And I got to make sure that they stay together. And so she was watching over them, and chow yeah. So all I'm saying
You need a reality show, girl.
is this don't let people limit your beliefs and your understandings. You decide that for yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I
But
just think
hey,
people do your research, read books, learn about it because it's fascinating. There's a book. I wish I had it handy. I have it in my phone, but I don't. I turned my phone off. Hold on. It's called you might have told me about it. Souls. Oh, what's the name of that book? Journey of Souls.
okay, I think it's about
Souls. Yes. Journey of Souls. Hold on. Yep. I listened to it's man, you want to talk about fascinating? I listened to the audiobook. Journey of Souls, case studies of lives between lives. They talk about the lives between the lives before you choose the next life. And this guy, I think he's an atheist, if I'm not mistaken, or was, or doesn't believe in anything really. And he's a believer now. He was a lot of these people that were scientists and do studies and experiment. Once they start seeing like, okay, people can't make this stuff up. This is real. Like, or they can research the lives that the people can't claim that they came from. They
right,
exist. That's
right.
when I'm actually with you. I think one of my clients did a session with you and was able to find the person that she was in a past life.
Quite a few people have done that. Yeah.
Me the hell out when she told me the details. I was like, what? That like she went on like ancestry, found the name, found the man, whew, girl. The work was awesome. I'm still getting chills thinking about it. But thank you so much for being here again. Tell us how we can book a session. Where do we go? Give us the website. I know you got a long waiting list. I already know.
Oh God, child. Yeah. So you can get more information, and book a session on my website at neoshihipno.com. Yeah, I don't know where we might be at that moment, but I ain't gonna say where we at right now. Can I say where we at right now? Wait
Well,
list or no?
no, don't say it. Don't scare them.
All
Let
right.
them try to find out and then be on the waiting list. Like, you know, you're a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, I'll say
Trying to
this.
be like you
I'll
want to grow up.
listen. Yeah, I'll say this. When you go on the website and you're trying to figure out, is this right? It's right. I don't have nothing. What you see there is what's there. I don't have nothing available sooner than the dates you see there. So that's
Well,
what I was saying.
thanks for squeezing us in on your busy schedule. I'm so grateful. One little plug for me, for those who like past lives. This is the sequel to Like a Fly on the Wall, and Whispers from the Past was about past lives. Actually, it was the main character Jacques Barati is an intuitive, and he developed the skill of when he touches you, he literally sees your past life flashes before him. So and he helps a lot of people deal with their karma. So yeah, it's definitely a juicy read. So somebody just texted me on Facebook saying, hey, is this about your life or is this real? These sex scenes are really steamy. Is this real? I was like, trust me, I interview people for some stuff, but what's real, I'm not going to tell you. It's real. Figure it out.
Thanks. Love it.
Definitely go to my website, onyourpower lifestyle.com or onyourpower.biz. They both go to the same place, and you can purchase an autographed copy from me. All right, but one more time, your website.
Neoshihipno.com. You can also find videos on my YouTube channel with actual client sessions. They let me kind of share some snippets from their sessions. So there's over 250 videos there. So if you want to get a sense of what the sessions look like and here's some of the other client sessions, you can go on my YouTube, Neoshi Hypno, or on IG at Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing.
Yeah, a couple of my friends that have went to you, they like literally were like looking at your page for hours. like it was like Netflix.
Yeah, it's addictive. My YouTube channel is addictive. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, that's
Bad
awesome.
news for you.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you. So grateful that you were able to spend some time with us again, and I'm sure we'll have you back again. There's always some juicy topics to dive into. So make sure everybody you visit her website, reach out to her, follow on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Neoshi Hypno Soul Healing.
Okay, perfect. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Own Your Power Lifestyle Show once again. Remember, anything you want is attainable. Own your power.